Atlanta's nightlife has always been wild, but what happened last night took things to a whole new level. The city's most popular nightclub became the stage for a serious standoff between Kirk Frost, Young Joc, and Lil Scrappy. It started with a few looks across the room and nearly turned into something much bigger. The club was packed. The music was loud, the bass pounding through everyone's bodies. Lights flashed across the dance floor, cutting through the smoky air mixed with cologne and perfume. People came dressed to impress, drinks were flowing, and the party vibe was strong. That's when Kirk Frost and Young Joc walked in. They looked sharp wearing designer clothes, flashy jewelry, and the kind of swagger that made people turn their heads. But something about them didn't feel right. Kirk's smile looked fake, and Joc's laugh didn't sound natural. They headed to their VIP section, surrounded by their usual crew, but their eyes kept drifting toward another corner of the club. Over in that section, Lil Scrappy was doing his thing. He was the life of the party, dancing, laughing, taking selfies with fans. His table was crowded, and he made sure everyone was having a good time. His energy lit up the whole place. But while Scrappy celebrated, Kirk and Joc kept glancing in his direction. They leaned in, whispered to each other, and stared across the room with looks that said something was bothering them. Even the waitress noticed. She dropped off their drinks quickly and left. Not wanting to get caught up in whatever tension was building, Scrappy didn't seem to notice, or maybe he just didn't care. He danced, toasted with fans, and acted like nothing was wrong. Kirk and Joc couldn't take their eyes off him. At one point, Joc leaned toward Kirk and said something in his ear. Kirk nodded slowly, still staring. Here's what most people didn't know. These three go way back. They've been around each other for years. Same clubs, same events, same circle. Everyone always thought they were cool. But behind the scenes, things were never really that simple. Scrappy's popularity has only grown. He's bold, honest, and says whatever's on his mind. That raw energy has made him a fan favorite, but not everyone loves that kind of honesty. Some say Kirk and Joc have been quietly frustrated for a while. Whether it's jealousy, personal beef, or Scrappy's attitude rubbing them the wrong way, last night pushed everything to the edge. The DJ switched tracks, and the crowd cheered. That's when Kirk and Joc made their move. They stood up and started walking through the crowd, heading straight for Scrappy's VIP section. People noticed immediately. The energy in the room shifted. Scrappy was mid-conversation when he saw them coming. Too late to duck out. The music still played, but the focus had shifted completely. Kirk stopped a few feet from Scrappy. His hands stayed in his pockets. Joc stepped up closer. Scrappy tried to play it cool. "What?" he asked, keeping his tone light but. His eyes sharpened. His crew caught on fast. Few of them stood up, ready in case things went sideways. Kirk didn't rush to answer. He just stared at Scrappy, sizing him up. And finally he spoke. "You've been running your mouth, stirring up things that didn't need to be stirred." Scrappy tightened his grip on his glass. His confidence cracked just a little. He glanced at his boys, then back at Kirk and Joc. "If you got something to say, say it." Joc stepped even closer. His body language was calm, but his eyes were locked in. "We got plenty to say. You should listen, if you know what's good for you." He didn't back down. He moved in, nearly face to face with Joc. "Say it then, let's hear it." People around them backed up, not wanting to get caught in the middle. The entire club felt the tension now. It was like the air got heavier and nobody could tell if fists were about to fly. JOC didn't hesitate. He pointed straight at Scrappy. "You know what this is about? You've been saying things that aren't true? You thought we wouldn't find out?" Scrappy stood tall. "If I said something, I meant it. Out. Don't come at me unless you've got facts." That's when Kirk pulled out his phone. He held it up and showed Scrappy the screen. We don't know what was on it, but it hit a nerve. Scrappy's jaw tightened as he read whatever Kirk was showing him. Some messages. "That's what you brought me?" Scrappy scoffed. But his voice shook just a little.
What?
He was rattled. JOC stepped in beside Kirk. "It's not out of context. You've been fake with the sand now. We're calling it out." That was it for Scrappy. His patience snapped. You think you can walk up on me in the middle of a club like this? Who do you think you are? His voice was rising now. Kirk leaned in close and whispered, "Keep it up, and you'll see what happens." Scrappy didn't blink. "You don't scare me, you never have." The next second felt like it could go either way. Joc's fists were clenched. Scrappy's boys were stepping closer. The crowd around them was silent, waiting for the first punch. That's when security jumped in. A guard pushed between them, placing a firm hand on Kirk's shoulder. "That's enough. Either take it outside or cool off." Kirk didn't move. At first, but then slowly nodded. He put his phone away. Scrappy exhaled, trying to steady his breath. The guard pointed back toward Kirk and Joc's booth. "I don't care who you are, this isn't the place." With one last look, Kirk said, "We'll deal with this another time." Then he and Joc turned and walked away. Scrappy stood there trying to calm down. His crew gathered around. "You good?" someone asked. Scrappy nodded. "Yeah, I'm good. They're all talk. I die." But his tone said otherwise. Deep down, he knew. This wasn't over. The rest of the night was tense. Kirk and Joc didn't party anymore. They sat quietly, sipping their drinks and watching Scrappy's section from across the room. Word spread fast. Everyone in the club had something to say. Some said fists almost flew. Others claimed Scrappy held his ground like a true king. Somebody even posted a shaky video from across the room. It didn't show much, but it was enough. The internet picked it up quick. When Kirk saw the posts going viral, he was furious. "Now, we're the villains," he told Joc. Joc just shook his head. "Let them talk. But maybe it's time we make things clear." Kirk nodded slowly. "What?" "Yeah. We're not done yet." Across the club, Scrappy was getting the same updates. "They're calling you a legend," one of his boys joked, showing him a phone. "You ran the club tonight?" Scrappy tried to laugh, but his smile didn't last. "This ain't over. Look at them. Hey, they're plotting. This was just the beginning." As the club emptied out, Kirk and Joc finally stood and walked out. They didn't speak, but they didn't need to. They were already thinking about the next move. Scrappy watched them leave, jaw tight. "So that's how it is?" he muttered. "They think they can walk out and come back again?" Outside, Kirk and Joc pushed through the crowd, got into their car, and drove off. Their phones lit up as they scrolled through all the comments, memes, and rumors. Kirk finally broke the silence. "You know what we need to do?" Doc didn't even have to ask. He just nodded. The club drama might have ended for the night, but this story is far from over.